Evening. This is the City of Twinsburg Planning Commission meeting for Monday, August 15, 2022. Roll call.
Mr. Shipley? Mr. Walker?
Here.
Mr. Kleinman?
Here.
Mr. Cohen?
Present.
Mr. Shebeck?
Present.
We could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We begin this evening with public hearing for the conditional use permit request for a telecommunications tower in an R4 residential district. If the applicant could please come forward, it's your opportunity to present to the community what it is that you're looking for. You can come up to the podium, your name and address, and
My name is Lloyd Korb, and 8960 Gettysburg Drive in Twinsburg. And I want to put a tower up to actually replace the one that came down in a windstorm about 3 months ago. And the tower is used to support my amateur radio antennas. That's basically it. I had a tower up for about 30 years, and through the years, I don't know if you're familiar with mechanical twisting on things, but it eventually broke and came down. And I decided that I would just put up a tower of 30 feet, which according to the engineer that I got specs on, that's more than adequate for the tower that I'm putting up.
all right, thank you. That's up to for anybody in the community who wants to speak for or against this request this evening. Now it's time to come forward.
So we do have one written statement from Mr. Korb's next door neighbor. I sent that out by email today. I don't know if anybody saw that. I know Michael did. Anyhow, he says, there is not a problem with installing the tower without trees. The trees are not necessary and will cause more damage than anything. And it was signed and dated by the adjacent neighbor.
All right, thank you. So that's on the record now as well. Last opportunity for anyone else who'd like to speak on this. Seeing no one, the public hearing portion is closed. If you could have a seat.
Okay.
Mr. Korb, we'll get back to you here shortly.
Okay.
Work session, the first item on the agenda is the lot split and consolidation request for 3536 Cannon Road. If the applicant could please come forward and name and address and an overview of what you're looking for this evening, please.
Yes, good evening. My name is John Manis. I live at 3536 Cannon Road. The property at Cannon Road right now is split in two parcels. So we submitted the application for a consolidation of those two parcels in addition to a small section of land that we're buying from our neighbor on the west side on the back of us, Karen and Michelle.
Thank you. Lynn, anything else to share on this? It seems pretty straightforward. Everything looks to be in order for the plat survey and legal descriptions.
Yeah, everything's in order with it. Mhm.
All right, David, any questions?
Nothing.
Steve?
No, it's pretty straightforward, so I'm good.
Michael?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Scott, anything?
Nothing.
Yeah, it seems all straightforward, so we'll get to the regular meeting portion, and when we do, we'll have a motion for approval.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The second item on the work session is the conditional use permit request. Mr. Korb, if you could please come back up to the podium. Is there anything else on this that you would like to share with the Planning Commission regarding?
Not really. I went through an engineer that works with the tower manufacturer, and I had him do a engineering system on the tower, and to prove that it's safe. And then I sent it in this. It's called a stamped. I don't know if you call it engineering report that Twinsburg requests.
Yeah, I believe we have something that shows the foundation detail for that, and
And that's correct. The building division required that.
yeah.
Yes.
Lynn, anything else on this? I mean, this seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Number one is permitted, I'm sure, the federal.
Yeah, FCC.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Allows it as long as it meets our requirements and the height and the setbacks and everything are all in compliance.
Those are all in compliant, and most of the area behind the project site is wooded. There's a pretty heavy wooded area to the rear and the side. The only open space really is to the adjacent neighbor that's provided the letter.
Steve, any comments or questions?
Yeah, my only concern is that waiving the screening requirement, because it's the current neighbor, but it could be a future neighbor, so I'm a little concerned about waiving that.
I thought about that, and I'm thinking the future owner's taking down that tower.
No, I meant the future neighbor who's.
Oh, the future neighbor,
No,
okay.
that's fine,
I hear ya.
screening.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that, but, you know,
Yeah.
the way things turn over around here, you know, it could be a different neighbor.
Yeah.
And,
He just moved in, a new neighbor, so.
but, you know, I mean, that's why we have it in the regulations, so.
Yeah.
That was my only concern.
I guess it's deemed appropriate by us, so it would be us to determine if you wanted to do that, I guess. And everyone else can give their thoughts on what they feel on that. David,
Nothing?
any issue with not screening it?
Nope.
Yeah. Michael?
I'm fine. After coming off of Gumbo, when we talk about what people determine at the time versus in the future, it's fine now. I do have a question, sir, that's completely unrelated. You said the prior tower lasted about 30 years or so?
Yeah.
Is that the usual run they get, or did it last longer? Or?
No, actually, that's a pretty good life for a tower.
Sure.
What happened was that, you know, through the years, you get this metal fatigue, and as it twists, eventually it'll break. And we had this really bad windstorm come along and took it down.
I grew up with grain bins and country antennas, so I get it.
Yeah. So that's why I decided that even though I was allowed 35 feet, I decided that I'd put up 30. So probably 90% of the tower is going to be covered by the house, so it'll never come down. And if it does, I'm well within the property lines.
Your due diligence was great, sir.
Yeah.
I'm fine, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. Scott, anything?
Nothing from the city?
Lynn, anything else?
Just one thought about the screening. Just another thought, Steve, that it looked to me like the sort of the bulk or the mass of the tower at the base wasn't overly noticeable. Like the frame of it's fairly,
Yeah, no, I get that
Yeah.
it's not obtrusive.
Yeah.
I think it was more towards the cell towers.
yeah, got
So
you.
the general thing of it is, but I just worry that, you know, the current neighbor says, yeah, it's fine, but then you get a new neighbor,
Yeah,
you know.
Well, I could always do it later.
yeah.
But no, I'm good. I think
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Honestly, sir, back in the day, everybody had an antenna kind of like this. And the way
Yeah.
that streaming's
In the country.
getting too much, everybody's going back to it. So.
All right, thank you, Mr. Corb.
Okay.
If you obviously, we'll get back to you here in a few moments. The third item on the work session is the Starbucks drive-through, which was been tabled. I'm assuming, Lynn, that obviously we have nothing, so nothing has come up on that.
Correct, and I haven't really had any communications with the Starbucks team, so I don't know when to expect them back at a meeting, so
All right.
maybe we'll leave it tabled for another couple
Yeah.
meetings.
See, we're not running yellow or red on, what is it, 180 days we haven't been to take action? Trying to remember.
Right, not for this.
Yeah, we're not running
Yeah.
yellow or.
So then let's just leave that table then. So 7:09, we'll roll into the regular meeting agenda. The first item is the approval of the June 27th, 2022 minutes. Is there any comments or corrections on those minutes? Seeing none, they'll be accepted as submitted. The next item is the lot splitting consolidation. Mr. Manis, if you can come back up to the podium. Is there anything else you'd like to share with Planning Commission regarding your submission this evening?
No, basically the section of land that we're purchasing from Kerry de Michel in the back is a triangular shaped land that borders the railroad track, a pond that she's had, and then the back of her property. So technically, that area is only accessible from our property, so it makes sense, and she agreed to it, so that's what we
Thank you. David, anything else?
Nope.
Steve?
No, I think always happy to see lot consolidations and cleaning up the property plots. So, no, I'm good with it.
Michael?
No, Mr. Chairman.
All right, I'd like to make the following motion. Upon reliance upon representations made by the applicant, along with the submitted lot split and consolidation plat for 3536 Cannon Road, permanent parcel number 64-00734, 64-08415, and 64-04036. Date stamp received July 26, 2022. I move for final approval of the lot split and consolidation.
No, second.
Second by Steve. Discussion?
Let's vote.
Roll call?
Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Mr. Shebeck?
Yes.
Mr. Kleinman?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
4-0 approval. You're ready to go. I guess we'll take care of signing. Am I the last or there?
You're the first.
Or the first this time?
Right.
to the mayor.
And then, right, and then I'll get the mayor and the remainder of the signatures this week, and I'll call you.
Great. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you. The next item on the regular meeting agenda is the conditional use permit request. Mr. Corbett, if you could come back up to the podium, getting your exercise this evening back and forth up and down. Anything else to share with us this evening?
Not really.
David, anything?
Nope.
Steve?
I'm good.
Michael?
No, sir.
I'd like to make the following motion. Upon reliance upon representations made by the applicant, along with the submitted conditional use request and application for Lloyd Corp., 8960 Gettysburg Drive, date stamped received June 28, 2022. I move that Planning Commission recommend to City Council the issuance of a conditional zoning certificate to allow a telecommunications tower in the R4 residential district.
I'll second.
Second by David. Discussion?
We would vote.
Roll call?
Mr. Cohen?
Yes.
Mr. Kleinman?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Shebeck?
Yes.
So this is a recommendation for council who will make their final determination at, I'm assuming, the next city council.
Yep.
Okay,
So that's the next step.
okay, all right.
Here.
Thank you
And
very
yeah,
much.
you don't need to attend that meeting, and I'll keep you posted as
Okay.
to where we're at in the process.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
sir.
Good night. Thank you.
Communications and miscellaneous. David, anything?
Lynn, did anybody get back to you on that wonderful path
Yes.
between the two places?
So, Steve Basso, the Assistant Fire Chief, went out and confirmed your report and GPS locations, and there's been discussions as to how to address it, and I've pulled the HOA documents. We think the erosion is on two separate HOA-owned pieces. And so this is going to take some action from the law director to determine how we're going to move forward. And he's been bogged down the last couple weeks. And so it's definitely on the mayor's radar and department head radar. And yeah, we're going to work towards reaching out to the HOAs or some other action.
Okay.
But
Well, I'm assuming the action, unfortunately for them, is going to be that they're going to have to repair and replace it so it can
Exactly.
suit the need
Yes.
that it's supposed to.
So I don't know whether some,
Yeah, I just wrote it the other day. There's no way you can get any emergency vehicle in there unless it's got a high 4x4.
I'm actually surprised you were actually able to ride it. I have some friends who live right there, and they tried walking it, and they said it's a mess.
yeah.
And every rainstorm that comes in, especially the heavy ones we've received over the past month or so, it's making it worse.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to figure out a way of channeling that water because that's what's doing it.
Channelize.
Well, it was never properly culverted.
Yeah.
Right,
It's pretty rough.
yeah.
So
All right, so.
So it's in progress.
great.
Posted.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Anything else?
That's it.
Steve?
No, although I will say the corner of Cornerstone Business Park really
Right,
nice.
right.
After all those meetings,
Less trucks, no tires.
Kevin
Yeah.
Stewart would be so happy.
And the path looks great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Isn't it? I thought it was supposed to be 5 foot. It looked like I didn't get out and measure it. I don't know.
I don't either. Staff has noticed when you get over onto the FedEx portion of it and you move towards the next parcel, there's a part that is sloped, not at a good angle. So I think there's a little bit of tweaking to do here still.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed they haven't landscaped that side of it.
Yeah.
The fact that it's built and landscaped now, it really
Yeah.
looks nice. Especially for the coming into the city.
Yeah.
That's all.
thank you. Michael?
Just thanks again. Lynn is always just Johnny on the spot, getting us information even the day of a meeting, and I really appreciate it and the work your team does. Like,
Thank you.
someone that works in a regulatory agency, there are regulations, there are laws that govern things. There's a way as the regulator that you can do business, and just really appreciate how you do it.
You're welcome. It's our goal to have applications be in the best possible position when they get here. The applicants don't appreciate carryover into next meetings. I know you guys don't. If we can use our time efficiently outside of the meeting, then we're going to do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Scott, anything?
Nothing from the city right now, other than, I told them settlements, the law direction is very busy, so. we'll,
Yes.
Leave it at that, but thank you for bringing that to our attention, David. We'll
Sure.
Look into that.
Lynn, what do we have happening here on the horizon, or anything else that you want to share with us?
It's very likely we'll have a meeting next month. I've had some interest in a vacant piece on East Aurora Road next to DaVita dialysis.
East or west of
Well, it would have to be east, west.
Yeah.
that? Is it right west
Yeah.
of the village there?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so just to the east of them?
Well, it's where the house currently sits. Mrs. Davis's old house.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, it's a
All
great
right, I'm
village.
just
Yeah,
trying to
DeVita Grand Village.
Sorry.
Moved that year.
I have a couple folks, that want to, more than one, locate a coffee kiosk, meaning a small freestanding structure that would just provide drive-through coffee service. If you've ever been out west, they're sort of everywhere. So that seems to have found its way to Twinsburg. There's some folks looking for a location still, but there's a couple of them out there.
Seen it.
I might have another federal firearms license request, different from the one that came and went a month or so ago. So it looks like there might be a couple conditional use permit requests, because all of these involve drive-throughs or special licensing, so.
Well, those would all pretty much need to be submitted like
Immediate.
tomorrow, because the next meeting's scheduled for the 19th, and you need 30 days
Exactly.
of advertising before.
Yes.
So,
I posted one for the site on East Aurora, and then it just wasn't meeting the C5 district standards, so that's been put to the side, but it's possible that somebody could touch base with me yet before the week's over, and we would post a notice.
all right, well, we'll be on the lookout for your emails and Cynthia's emails with whatever information
Yep.
you guys have to share with us. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
We need a motion to excuse Craig from this evening's meeting.
So moved.
Moved by Michael, second by Steve. Roll call.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Shebeck?
Yes.
Mr. Cohen?
Yes,
Mr. Kleinman?
Yes.
he's excused officially. Seeing nothing else, then 7:20 adjournment.